Yesterday, the prayers of the Little Sisters of the Poor were answered. The group who care for the sick and elderly received an injunction from the United States Supreme Court protecting them from Obamacare's contraception mandate while the case is still being considered. You'll recall that Justice Sotomayor signed it originally, and now the full court has said not so fast to Eric Holder and his Justice Department. With me now, Fox News contributor Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, thanks for being with us this evening. What's your reaction to this ruling?
Always good to be with you.
And your reaction to this ruling in favor of the Little Sisters?
Well, obviously, I'm very happy about it. You know, it's kind of frightening that we ever arrived in this situation where, you know, an outstanding religious organization like the Little Sisters have to go to court. You know, there was a time when we really had respect for freedom of religion, which is one of the founding pillars of our nation. But it is very encouraging that our divided government is actually starting to work. I was starting to wonder what was going on. This is not only a victory for the Little Sisters, this is a victory for the entire United States and all the American people. Let's hope that all the branches of government will look at this and say, you know what, we have a responsibility to the people. We don't have a responsibility to a party.
Well, and of course, this is simply an injunction until the full hearing on the underlying facts, but it is good news. Now, Dr. Carson, in an interview with the New Yorker this week that a lot of people are talking about, the president blamed racism in our country for his poor approval ratings, not Obamacare or any of the other failed policies. What's your response to that?
Well, you know, I think that it's ridiculous. I mean, the policies that he has espoused have started to have effects on individuals now. You know, you look at all the things that have happened under his administration, you know, Benghazi, IRS, NSA, Fast and Furious, on it went. In a way, people were kind of slumbering it through it, and now, you know, it's hitting them. And they're coming out. And now they're looking at all these various things. It has nothing to do with race, quite frankly. And I find that people who like to make excuses tend to be people who don't get a whole lot accomplished. You know, you look back at Chang and Ing Bunker, the original Siamese twins. They were joined at the chest. Not only did they become successful, they were farmers. They got married. They had a family. And remained stuck together. People today, they hurt the little pinky and they want workman's comp for the rest of their lives. We have to get away from the excuse mentality and start thinking about what we can do, not what we can't do, and who's preventing us. No one can prevent you, you know, if you have the right mindset. He needs to develop the right mindset.
I agree with that. And Dr. Carson, though, do you feel like the country is more divided since President Obama has been in office?
Of course it's more divided, but what would one expect? You know, what do community organizers do? It's you against you, us against them. Of course that's what they do. We can't really blame the president. We put him in there. We knew that's what he was.
Well, and you know, it's kind of interesting, that whole idea of, you know, race and, you know, blaming racism on the country for a poor approval rating. And the bottom line is, you know, the whites overwhelmingly elected him. But first time anyway. Dr. Carson, they say they're drafting you for president. What say you?
I say that I'm very hopeful that someone will come along who really grasps the importance of the things that are going on in this country and gets a lot of traction, in which case I would get strongly behind them.
All right, good answer. Dr. Ben Carson, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. And now for tonight's Insta poll. We asked, is America more united or divided since Barack Obama became president? An overwhelming response. 90% of you think the country is much more divided. Mary says, makes me think of united we stand and divided we'll fall. Kurt opines, more divided, rich versus poor, black versus white, Democrat, Republican, far-left liberals versus the Tea Party. Gillian tweets, divided. Obama will have the legacy of being the great divider. But Carolyn had a different take. She says, you all must have short-term memory. We've been divided and broken long before President Obama. Well, here's my take. You're wrong. After 9/11, we were never more united. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us.